There's a reason why this tool is called Power Window in DaVinci Resolve, because it's the most powerful tool that DaVinci Resolve is offering in the free version. Today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about this tool and how to apply it in your color grades to really draw attention to your subject. And in the end I will also show you some other cool tricks that you can do with the Power Window. But before we start, keep in mind that you already should have a basic knowledge of how to expose or correct an image. So if the color page is completely new to you, make sure to watch this video first where I walk you step by step through the basics of the color page in DaVinci Resolve. Without wasting any more time, let's start with the tutorial. Let's open the color page. Before we go crazy, let me first show you the variety of our power windows, how to apply them properly so you really know what's going on here. After we have done our basic adjustments in the first nodes, we create a new empty node where we will apply our power window. Let's open our power window tab, and here you can find all the different power window shapes. By clicking one of the symbols, you already created a power window. This is nothing else than a mask in the end. If you look closely at your node, you can see the area that got stamped out. You can also see your selection if you press this button in the corner to activate or deactivate it. That means now if I change any of those values that you can find in the color page, they will only get affected in this area. If you want to invert your selection, you can simply do this by pressing this button, and now the outside of our shape is the area that gets affected. To modify the shape, take the white points on the corners to scale and shape it. If you grab them in the middle, you can place them, and if you grab this handle, you can rotate them. The red points on the outside adjust the feather, which plays a big role in color grading, which I will show you later. So we have the circle we can modify, the rectangle shape which we can modify, but to really get full freedom, we can take the pen tool and draw our own shape by clicking and creating points. If you click and drag, you can create curves. We need to close our shape to activate our mask, and then we are able to reshape it. If you ask yourself how to soften this mask, you can do this by increasing this value here. But the best thing is that we can use this mask not only for applying color grades, but also for creating an actual mask where we can delete the background. We do this by simply pressing in an empty space, hitting right click and clicking Add Alpha Output. Now connect the blue dots, and this is the general way to make something transparent in DaVinci. If we go back to our edit page now, we can see that the background has been removed and we can place something else underneath. As we have a video and the camera is moving, we need to track our mask that we have carefully created. And this is so easily done by opening our tracker page and pressing tracking in both directions. And it's doing an incredible job. But if the tracking didn't work perfectly, you can adjust it manually by changing the mode from clip to frame. Move your mask a bit to create a keyframe and move forward where the tracking got lost, adjusting it manually until it's perfect. If you play around with this tool, you can actually achieve pretty precise masking here and get a similar effect like the magic mask from the studio version. Effects like putting text behind your back or changing your background. But more cool effects later. Before that, I want to show how you can use this for creating stunning color grades that really draw the attention of the viewer to your main object. So let's make our subject pop more. Let's create a circle mask and feather it a lot, because if we create masks for color grading, the goal here is really to blend them in seamlessly. Don't forget to track it as our shot is moving. Before I change any values, I want to copy this node by pressing Command-C, create a second parallel node and paste our mask inside by pressing Command-V. This means both nodes share the same tracked mask. The only thing I want to change is that I want to invert the second one. In a second, you will understand why we are doing it this way. So let's begin with our first mask, the inside mask. Because our main subject is in the middle, I want to draw some attention to it. I will do this by increasing our gain in the primary wheels. If you don't know what those wheels are, you should watch this video first where I explain the basic of the color page. But in short, lift affects the shadows, gamma our midtones and gain our highlights. So let's drag our highlights, so the gain up to make the car pop more. If we turn on and off our node to see the before and after, which we can by the way do by pressing Command+D, we can already see that our subject is really popping out. A side note, if the window here is disturbing you, you can temporarily hide it by pressing this button to focus on your grading. For our outside mask, I want to do the opposite. I want to drag my gain down to decrease the light, creating something like a vignette effect. Okay, but why the heck did we create a parallel node instead of a serial node? It's because all our mask nodes get their information fed by this node here. The result would be different if we created our masks after each other, as this node would take its information from the previous one and so on. So when we work with masks, we want them to happen at the same time. That's why we create parallel nodes, okay? The goal here is really to draw attention to our object. Another way we can do this, for example, is by creating a feather. Let's darken the floor a little bit more by applying our feather mask and stretching it to create a nice feather. In the direction that the arrow shows, our mask is feathering out. The longer the arrow, the smoother the feather. Then drag down our gain again. Just like this. Here's the before and after. Now I want to bring a little bit of color into my image. Create a new node and draw a power window where our light shines. Don't forget to track it and adjust it if needed. Let's grab the middle of our gain wheel and drag it slowly into the blue area to create a nice teal color. I will create another feathered mask on our left corner, track it again, and here I will drag the gain towards orange so we get a typical orange and teal mix in our image. Let's say we want to delete the car license plate. Just draw a window over the license plate and make sure you track it. In our effects pool up here, we can search for a blur effect, which we can put on our mask. Now we have already blurred the license plate, but actually I want to make it black so it's not so distracting. I will decrease the gain values as well, way less distracting than before. Another cool effect you can achieve with this tool is placing text behind your subject. For that you want to duplicate your clip in the edit page and place it 2 tracks above the original. Then mask out your subject as I've shown you before and connect the alpha output again to make it transparent. Now, if you head back to your edit page, you can drag some